Job done.
Hi there guys, my name's Si Hannaford and welcome to my channel. It's where I get to explain my little adventures of physical endurance and explain to you how I managed to achieve them. I'm going to be talking about how I prepared for the mammoth swim of 21 miles, how I prepared for the cycle from Land's End to John O'Groats, and then ultimately the run covering over 733 miles back down to Warwickshire, which was extremely interesting. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button and push the little dingly bell so it reminds you when I'm posting a new video. Okay, so I realised right from the offset that swimming, it wasn't my strongest discipline within sort of like the triathlon sort of sphere of disciplines. So, you know, I definitely had a healthy respect for the swimming side, but I knew that I had all the time well, I didn't have all the time in the world. I had 24 hours to do the swimming. I had the safety crew there, I had the manpower there, so it wasn't going to be a massive issue. I wasn't racing against the time. All I was doing was racing against those 21 miles that I had to cover ultimately. So therefore, the way I decided to break down my training was I was never going to be able to swim close to 21 miles. It would just take too long. During my working day, I didn't have the time to dedicate hours of swimming to, and I'd already established that I didn't need the speed, because it wasn't going to be a speed event. I wasn't racing against anyone else apart from myself. All I needed to do was get it done within that time frame of 24 hours. Then I had 24 hours rest, then I was straight onto the bike down at Land's End. So I went for 3 or 4 training sessions a week of up to an hour predominantly, and my aim throughout those training sessions firstly was to get acclimatized to the freezing cold water. At some points it was only 4 degrees, so, and I did most of my training within inside a dive pool where I work. So on each of those training sessions I broke down into sort of kilometers, and I always worked on kilometers. So if I could do a kilometer within 25 minutes and still feel fresh to carry on to do another kilometer, then that's the premise that I kind of worked on, along with working on my technique. And I predominantly did the 21 miles in breaststroke and not front crawl. And I know that people are thinking, wow, that's mental. Well, that's the stroke that I am most efficient at. So on both Ironman that I've taken part in, I've predominantly swam breaststroke and got a respectable time of like 1 hour 20 for the full iron and about 35-40 minutes for the half iron. So that's the stroke that I stuck to and tried to make that as most efficient as possible. And like I said, I broke it down into kilometre runs and trying to work on being most efficient at swimming 1 kilometre, assessing how I was feeling at the end of that kilometre, then repeating, getting to the end of that kilometre, feeling how I felt, then repeating. And as it came closer to the time, I kind of got myself into almost a state of meditation while swimming. And at some points I'd even close my eyes and just go through the motions, just completely relax my body and just be as fluent and relaxed in the water as I could be without obviously losing my way and veering off left and right. Okay, so as the training plan progressed, I tried speeding up on each kilometre. Nothing silly, just being able to get that kilometre done maybe 10 seconds quicker, then turning around and doing another kilometre at the same time of maybe 150, not 150, in like 25 minutes, let's just say. And then the next week I would try and do it in 23 minutes for a kilometre, and then 21 minutes for a kilometre. So although I was working on speed, it was mainly being able to feel extremely comfortable in water for a long period of time. And at the time I was only training for perhaps an hour to 2 hours, bearing in mind that I was working full time as well, so I was literally stealing time from everywhere. So the feeding part, so I was using Cis energy bakes, and I was taking one of those every half an hour during the actual event. When I was in training, all I drank was water. I didn't really take on much food or any sort of supplement, due to the fact that I just wasn't training for long enough to require that type of support. But during the actual event I was taking on, like I said, an energy bake every 30 minutes, plenty of water, maybe half a litre of water every length, some energy gels, some caffeine gels, nothing too outrageous. I was literally trying to stay as calm and relaxed in the water as possible, and that was working absolutely fine up until the 10-hour point. Okay, so the game plan was, like I said, to stay nice and calm and relaxed. Don't let the lactic acid build up in the body, and don't panic. That was the game plan. And like a lot of people say, you know, plans are always great until you get punched in the mouth. At the 10-hour point I got that big punch in the mouth, and started to get a little bit sort of panicky, a little bit sort of, wow, this is real. I'm really feeling this. And I had to start drawing on some coping strategies to try and get past the fact that I thought that I'd just been swimming for 10 hours. So what did I do to get me past that wall, as it were, the 10-hour block? I started thinking about, you know, why I was doing it, why I was actually there. And there's many reasons to that. And the first reason was, you know, to set an example. And you may say, who am I setting an example to? Well, I've got one of them sat right next to me now. That's Max, my youngest boy. What do you think of what I did, Max? Swimming all that way. I wanted to set an example to my family. You know, you can't start something and then give up on it halfway through because it's a little bit hard. And also for the charities that I was raising money for, you know, the people suffering from cancer, they're suffering every day, and they haven't got that choice of just being able to stop. Oh, that's all right, just float for a bit. They don't get that chance. So that was another reason. You know, the people that the Felix Fund is supporting, you know, they're going through stress, turmoil. Some people may be amputees, suffering from post-traumatic stress, or whatever it may be. They don't get a chance to just have a rest. That's all right, just float on the water for a bit. So that was playing on my mind a little bit as well, you know, to push me forward. And my own sort of determination of this isn't going to beat me. You know, I was going to finish that swim regardless of how long it was going to take. So it was mindset, going into that almost zen-like zone, forgetting about, you know, my arms are hurting, my legs are hurting, and just getting that job done, along with the assistance of my support crew, may I add. Okay, so moving on to the kit and equipment that I used for the swim then. So first of all was the 2XU Propel P2 triathlon wetsuit. Absolutely gleaming bit of kit. They're my feet. Okay, so this is designed more for flotation, for the beginner swimmer. As I said before, my swimming isn't the most strongest, or it isn't my strongest discipline. And you can see these little sort of like grooves here, just aids in catching the water and propelling you through the water. Both sides, really comfortable. And in some cases you can get really bad wetsuit rub. I had a tri suit on underneath and I suffered with very little rub whatsoever. Okay, moving on to my goggles. Extremely comfortable to wear. They're a Hub swimming goggle, Aquasphere, mirrored. And on the day that I was swimming, it was extremely bright, so I'm very glad that I bought those. It did help me a lot. No water leakage, however the suction was quite strong in my eyes, and it took about 5 to 6 days for my eyes to go back down. And there's the swim cap, British Triathlon, flying flag. And that was literally all of the kit and equipment that I used for the swim. That's what got me through the 21-mile swim, which took place down at Portsmouth at DDS, the ex-torpedo training lake or testing lake, and where all of our military divers learn how to be divers, I suppose. So thank you very much, Portsmouth DDS, and all of the naval clearance divers down there that took the time to cheer me on at the sidelines. Thanks to John, Nige, Sharky, drove the safety boats and generally just looked after us 100%. I couldn't have asked for anything more. So again, thank you very much. Okay, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you ever so much for my sponsors, people that believed in me when quite a lot of people didn't. So the first of all is Camper King. To those guys, massive thank you, due to the fact that you gave me one of your extremely nice camper vans to utilise throughout the whole of the challenge. So again, a massive thank you to you guys. Wouldn't have happened without your input. Next is the Aardvark group, again, who helped us financially and for getting it out on social media. A massive thank you to them. Again, wouldn't have happened without your input. MP Aerospace, again, financially helping us and also helping with the social media side and getting it out there. It was brilliant. And last but not least, Pearson Engineering, again helping us with the social media side and financially to get this project actually moving along. Without you guys, the money wouldn't have been raised for the Felix Fund, Bomb Disposal Charity, or for the Hummingbird Centre, which is the cancer support charity. So a massive thank you to you for realising this challenge and making it happen. Again, thank you ever so much. If you've got any questions at all, queries, or any other sort of things that I haven't managed to cover, just drop them into the comments box down below, and I will either incorporate them into my next video, or I'll answer them straight back on these in your comments. So please comment. It really does help, you know, the it lets me know that I'm not just saying this to people and they're not really listening, or not, it doesn't really matter.